Welcome to the video lecture for the subject Fashion Merchandising. Today we are going to see about Unit 5, which is of Export and Globalization Part 3. Modes of payment. The payment can be made in many different ways like by cash, telegraphic transfer or mail transfer, money order or postal order, bill of exchange, promissory note, check, bank draft, etc. The payment is done between the seller and the buyer. In modern age, the payment is done through online banking system which is easy to pay. When a seller deals with a domestic or foreign buyer, he or she should maintain a clear dealing method. The payment status depends on the size of the payment. During payment, sellers should give the VAT and other excise duty of the country. In this diagram, we are seeing about different modes of payment. Cash payment, telegraphic transfer, money order, bill of exchange, promissory notes, check, bank draft. Cash payment. It is one of the oldest modes of payment. In this case, the buyer pays money in the form of notes and coins to the seller. The seller on receipt of cash issues cash memo or cash receipt. This mode of payment is suitable only for small transactions. Cash payment types. Spot cash. Buyer gives the payment, that is hand to hand when goods are received. Prompt cash. Buyer gives the payment within short time. Net cash. Actual cost of the goods. Cash with order. CWO. Buyer sends money during the placement of order. Cash on delivery. Buyer gives payment during goods receiving. Deferred payment. Buyer gives payment at installments after receiving the goods. Most used method of cash payment. Telegraphic transfer or mail transfer. The payer deposits the money along with other charges in a bank which has a branch office at the payee's place. On receipt of cash and other charges, the bank telegraphically informs the branch office to credit the amount to the payee's account. The payee is accordingly informed and can withdraw the money. The money can also be remitted by mail transfers, which takes a little longer time. This method helps for quick remittance. It is not a popular one. Money order or postal order. Here payment can be remitted through money orders and postal orders. Businessmen may prefer more of postal orders because a large number of postal orders can be collected and in cash at a time. Postal order is safer than a money order. Postal orders can be crossed for safety purpose. Traders normally do not use this method of payment. Bill of exchange. An unconditional order signed by the maker directing a person to pay a certain sum of money only to a certain person of the bearer. Some advantages of bill of exchange are the holder of the bill can receive the money even before the due date of bill by discounting the bill within his bank. The bill can be transferred to another person. It enables the buyer to purchase the goods without making actual payment. He accepts the bill and make payment at a later date. Promissory note and check. Promissory note. And it is an instrument in writing, not being a banknote or a currency note, containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to a certain person or the bearer of the instrument. Check. Every businessman has a bank account to facilitate his business transactions. When the bank account is open, the bank gives a checkbook for making payments. Check payment is a convenient and safer mode of payment. To ensure safety, the check may be crossed generally so that the payment to a wrong person is prevented. Bank draft. An order to pay money drawn by one office of the bank upon another office of the same bank for a sum of money payable to order on demand. It is used for the purpose of transferring funds from one place to another within a country or from one country to another. An order given by one bank upon another of its branch situated elsewhere to pay a certain sum of money. The contents of the bank draft is more or less that of a check, but it is signed not by the payer but by the banker. Letters of credit LC. It is one of the most secure instruments available to international traders. A commitment by a bank on behalf of the buyer that payment will be made to the exporter provided that the terms and conditions stated in the LC have been met. The buyer establishes credit and pays his or her bank to render this service. It is useful when reliable credit information about a foreign buyer is difficult to obtain, but the exporter is satisfied with the credit worthiness of the buyer's foreign bank. It protects the buyer since no payment obligation arises until the goods have been shipped as promised.
Globalization. Globalization is the process of interaction and integration among people, companies, and governments worldwide. It has grown due to advances in transportation and communication technology. With the increased global interactions comes the growth of international trade, ideas, and culture. It is primarily an economic process of interaction and integration that's associated with social and cultural aspects. Impacts of globalization on Indian textile industry. The initiation and development of globalization on Indian textile industry took place simultaneously in 1990s. The Indian textile industry is one of the largest textile industry in the world and earns around 27% of the foreign exchange from exports of textile and its related product. It has seen a paradigm increase in the total industrial production factor of this industry, which presently stands at 14%. The contribution of the Indian textile industry towards the gross domestic product (GDP) of India is around 3%, and the numbers are steadily increasing. This process development was the effect of rapid acceptance of open market policy by the developing countries, much in the lines of developed countries of the world.
The initiation and its subsequent was affected by the Ministry of Textiles under the Government of India. The aggressive policy was undertaken for the rapid development of globalization in Indian textile industry. The most significant step amongst them was the introduction of the National Textile Policy 2000. This policy envisaged to address the following issues: increased global competition in the post-2005 trade under WTO, huge import volume of cheap textiles from other Asian neighbors, high production costs with respect to other Asian competitors, use of outdated manufacturing technology, poor supply chain management and huge transit cost, huge unorganized and decentralized sector. This policy also aims at increasing the foreign exchange earnings to the tune of US 50 billion by the end of the year 2010. It includes rational projections for the overall development and promotion of all the sectors involved directly or indirectly within the Indian textile industry. Furthermore, this policy also envisages the inclusion of huge unorganized and decentralized Indian textile sector under the organized textile industry. This is because the unorganized textile manufacturing sector in India accounts for 76% of the total textile production. The globalization of Indian textile sector was the cumulative effect of the following factors: huge textile production capacity, efficient multi-fiber raw material manufacturing capacity, large pool of skilled and cheap workforce, entrepreneurial skills, huge export potential, large domestic market, very low import content, flexible textile manufacturing systems. The Indian textile industry consists of the following sectors: man-made fiber industry, filament yarn industry, cotton textile industry, jute industry, silk and silk textile industry, wool and woolen industry, power loom sector. An approximate number of total textile companies operating in different parts of India are given below, like home decors, apparel companies, thread companies, yarn companies, fiber companies, etc. The overall growth of the Indian textile industry can be attributed to the globalization. Today, the Indian textile industry employs around 35 million personnel directly and this accounts for 21% of the total employment generated in the economy. Globalization of Indian textile industry has also facilitated introduction of modern and efficient manufacturing machineries and techniques in the Indian textile sector. Thus, much of India's economic growth is largely dependent on the textile manufacturing and exports. Assignment questions for part 3 is given here. Try to complete it as soon as possible and post it in the Google Classroom. Thank you.